Congresswoman Ilhan Omar was accused of anti-Semitism on Fox News. You'll never guess why that is. Take a look.
Top Republicans going after the House Speaker Nancy Pelosi for assigning Congresswoman Ilhan Omar to the Foreign Affairs Committee, claiming she has a history of anti-Semitic remarks. 2012, she wrote on Twitter, quote, "Israel has hypnotized the world. May Allah awaken the people and help them see the evil doings of Israel. Hashtag Gaza, hashtag Palestine, hashtag Israel." Ari Fleischer, former White House press secretary, Fox News contributor. And Ari, thank you for your time today. I want to get your views on this. I just want to point out that she's a freshman Democratic member of Congress from Minnesota, Palestinian heritage and background. And what do you think about how, I guess the tweet came out first, and she was on CNN yesterday and addressed it the following way? Here's a little clip of that.
That's really a regrettable way of expressing that. I don't know how my comments would be offensive to Jewish Americans. My comments precisely are addressing what was happening during the Gaza war.
Does that clear things up, Ari? Where are you on this?
It makes it even worse. The fact that she can't understand how that's offensive, it's one of the oldest anti-Semitic tropes to say that Jews control the world. And when she says Israel's hypnotized the world, it's a repeat of that message. If that was the only instance, maybe you could understand it. But she also is for a boycott of Israel. This new congresswoman who's on the Foreign Affairs Committee has not called for a boycott of Russia or Venezuela or Iran. She has singled out Israel for it. I just think it's a sign of the creeping problem the Democratic Party has in its grassroots that is increasingly anti-Semitic and anti-Israel.
How do you think that Speaker Pelosi should step in, and what would you want to hear from her?
She should say it was a mistake to put Congresswoman Omar on the Foreign Affairs Committee. Anybody who holds those views as an extremist does not represent the Democratic Party. Look, the Democrat leadership historically has been very pro-Israel, but it's cracking. It's cracking because the Democrat grassroots are increasingly anti-Israel, and as we've seen with the Women's March, increasingly anti-Semitic. And Pelosi is trying to split that difference. You don't split it. You stand on principle, and you stand with Israel and with the American Jewish community. That's the problem that Nancy Pelosi has. She's cast her lot with the wrong group.
You're a war criminal. You're a war criminal. Ari Fleischer was in the Bush administration. He's a war criminal. I'm not interested in your moral condemnation of anybody or anything. But putting that aside, listen, this is Boy Who Cried Wolf. That's what this is. Because they've done this nonstop. Chuck Schumer did the same thing. Oh, God, anybody who supports BDS, it's hatred of Jews. It's anti-Semitism. That's not anti-Semitism. Anti-Semitism is bigotry against Jews. She clearly said, I'm talking about Israel and what Israel is doing during one of their fucking bomb fests of Gaza. So this is Boy Who Cried Wolf stuff here. Now, when there's an actual case of anti-Semitism, people are going to roll their eyes and go, yeah, sure, that's anti-Semitic in the same way fucking BDS is anti-Semitic, when all they're trying to do is use economic pressure in order to get Palestinians human rights and in order to get some sort of a peace deal. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't like her tweet, Ilhan Omar's tweet, not because she criticized Israel. I'm all for criticizing Israel, and I think we need to do it a hell of a lot more, but because it was weirdly religious. To Allah and hypnotize the world and blah. It's like, okay, that's got strong undertones of fundamentalism, which I don't agree with and I think is bizarre. But having said that, criticizing Israel is fair game in the same way that when you criticize Saudi Arabia, you're not criticizing all Muslims and you're not Islamophobic. You're not bigoted against Muslims if you say, hey, I'm against fundamentalist Islam, I'm against Wahhabism or Salafism or the Saudi government. And this is the weird fucking bait and switch that people do. And it's when they have no other fucking argument. Ari Fleischer doesn't have an argument. He just wants to shut up criticism of Israel, shut down criticism of Israel. So he's like, oh, I guess you're anti-Semitic because you criticize Israel. No! That shit is not going to work anymore. And notice, Ilhan Omar didn't just sit down and take it. Back in the old days, if you say that to a Democrat, like, oh, yes. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm a bad person. But Ilhan Omar was like, okay, I worded that weird, but I was criticizing Israel. I wasn't criticizing all Jews. I'm not bigoted against Jews. I'm not anti-Semitic. Let's stop playing around here. I'm criticizing the Israeli government. The far right-wing Israeli government led by the Likud party and Netanyahu, a government which is doing illegal occupation under international law, a government that's doing apartheid. Not okay with them. Not okay with them. And she's right to say that. And when you smear any criticism of Israel and pretend it's anti-Semitism, again, you undermine actual anti-Semitism and make people roll their eyes when there's a real case of anti-Semitism. We've seen this a million times. Why is it everybody understands this argument when it comes to third-wave feminism? Oh, everything is sex. Oh my God, the portrayal of women in this video game, it's so sexist. Well, then when you have an actual case of sexism, people are going to go, sure. I'm sure it's sexist in the same way that you were just complaining about a video game 5.5 minutes ago and saying that's sexist. Don't do the boy who cried wolf. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. And then, finally, I just got to point out, Ari Fleischer's full of shit and he lied in there. He said, oh, Ilhan Omar, you know how you know this is anti-Semitic? Because she wants a boycott of Israel, but she doesn't want a boycott of Russia. She doesn't want a boycott of Venezuela. She doesn't want a boycott of any other place. So obviously this is hatred of all Jews. She actually has called for a boycott of Saudi Arabia. You lying, smug piece of it. They're gonna smear no matter what. And now this new class of lefties gets that. They get that. And they're gonna fight back. Because what has been proven recently, it's been proven with AOC, it's been proven with Ro Khanna, when you fight back, they're actually they're ineffectual losers. They're building on a foundation of fucking quicksand. They crumble instantly when you push back on them. Look at what Scott Walker said. Oh, even little kids understand high tax rates are wrong. Little Billy was given $10 by his grandma, and then his mom takes $7 of the $10. That's so wrong. And AOC responded, explaining to far-right governors how marginal tax rates work. Grandma gives little Billy $10 and he keeps his $10. And then we tax the billionaire down the street. When you push back, they have no rebuttal because they're a bunch of idiots and they've been on autopilot spewing out dumb talking points for the past 30 goddamn years. And now here we are. And the chickens are coming home to roost in terms of the rebuttals to these maniacs. So now, all day long, oh my God, Ilhan Omar, she must be anti-Semitic because she criticized Israel. Let's do a fucking segment about it on Fox News. And then guess what? She can respond to your ass. Oh, really? I was criticizing the Israeli government. I wasn't criticizing all Jews. I'm not an anti-Semite. I don't believe in that at all. I was criticizing the far-right government that was bombing innocent civilians. That's what I was doing. So go ahead, guys. Keep trying to smear, and we'll keep responding. And now that you have people who do respond to you, everybody's going to notice you're a house of cards and you're a bunch of silly people.